Hello there, everybody. This is Ambrose, of course. I'm here to talk to you about the Boston Growth Matrix, one of my favorite tools in the world of business. Now, if you've been interacting with us on the salesmasterycompany.com, on any of our social media platforms, you should have gained access to the workbook that looks something like this. If you haven't, please send an email through to admin@salesmasterycompany.com and request the workbook from the Boston Growth Matrix, and it's fit within sales. Now, as mentioned, this has always been one of my favorite planning tools from a marketing or business strategy perspective, which unfortunately means it's not generally a tool that sales managers or business owners will think about when it comes to the sales team. Now, most of our focus around the world, coaching and training clients around the world, has and always will be around salespeople in particular. So it's an added bonus if you are in sales or if you're a sales manager to get insights into more marketing planning or more strategic planning. So let's break it down. What is the Boston Growth Matrix? It was created in 1970 by the Boston Consulting Group, who are global leaders like the McKinsey's type people of the world, and it focuses more on your product mix. Now, if your business does not sell products, then of course it can sell services. It might sell products with services. But what we're saying is it is a way to classify the products you sell or the services you sell and to think about them a little bit differently to the way people previously thought about them before the Boston Consulting Group got hold of it. Let's think about our customers. Time and time again, when we get people to think about prospective customers or how to be more proactive with existing customers, we get them to rank their target customer profile. What do most marketers add to that? They start talking about buyer personas. Who are you here to serve? But for today, for the short, sharp training session that's free of charge, is to say, let's think about things differently. Let's think about the products that we sell. I appreciate it if you're simply working full-time in sales. You're not one of the directors, not one of the managers, not one of the business owners. I suspect you might learn this stuff and you won't be able to do a huge amount with it, except if you share this video with one of the business owners and managers and with your opinion alongside it. So firstly, watch this, make notes, think about it, then have a discussion, maybe watch it with somebody else in your team and just show them how you can think more strategically. Time and time again, salespeople worldwide are accused of only operating or living hand to mouth day to day, operating tactically as opposed to strategically. Well, today's about being more strategically. Now, another thing just to comment on is there is a thing called a product life cycle that, again, is a topic we've covered before. It's likely a topic we'll cover again, but to give you the short, sharp understanding about a product life cycle. Typically, when a product is launched into a new marketplace where it's never been sold in before, whether that's a brand new product or just a new brand offering a similar product, generally speaking, the first of the four phases is slow, stable growth. So it is slow growth. It's not accelerated growth. Unless you're in a technology company selling, say, a Samsung phone or an iPhone or something like that, where you launch it and boom, the next day everybody's buying it. Most products are slow but steady. So it's kind of like just a sort of entry to the market. Then eventually people catch on. People start referring to your product or to your brand or to your business. And then you start going to a growth phase. So having done the introductory phase, then most businesses accelerate their sales. Their sales start to pick up. People talk about it. So you have an introductory, then we have growth, then we have maturity. So you're still selling, you're still growing, but you're not growing at the accelerating rate, the exponential growth you might have experienced before. And if you don't do product innovations, typically most products, most brands, most teams will decline after that. So the four phases of the product life cycle are introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. In terms of the model looking at the products themselves, or if you're selling services, the services you're selling, there is a star, there's a cash cow, there's a problem child, and there's a dog. So let's just get some understanding about what each of them are and what it means. The stars come first. They often get the bright lights. It's an exciting word. People like the stars. A star is a product or service that we have launched that generally has massive potential long term. It is about us growing into the marketplace. It often has experienced the signs or the green shoots of spring, so to speak, of rapid growth. Now, as a rule of thumb, at the early phase of a star, whether this is 1 month or half year or 1 year, for example, often we are having to put a disproportionate amount of marketing and advertising and sales push behind it in order for it to establish itself in the marketplace. So often a star is exciting. We're operating and investing our time and effort. based on the potential and the signs of great growth. But as a proportion, we're putting in huge energy as well, or huge resources as well. The cash cow, boring though it is what a business is built on. The cash cow are your core products or core brands or core offering that probably were stars before, and now they're established in the marketplace. Return customers are just picking up the phone and placing orders, going on a website, placing orders, referring their friends and colleagues and saying, hey, just buy this product. Don't debate it, just buy this product. We often do not have to put a huge amount of effort to educate the market about what cash cows do. We often don't have to put a huge amount of effort to convince customers to buy them because they've heard of them from others or they bought them themselves. Cash cows are very, very profitable. And the reason why it's called a cow is, of course, it's like you milk it. So essentially the cash cow is the business and it's got this product, and the cash cow, you milk it and it produces cash. That's the origin of the terminology around that. Now, as a rule of thumb, a cash cow is usually in the late growth phase of the product life cycle and also in the maturity phase around that. So it might still be growing, but it's growing at a slower rate. As a rule of thumb, that's the way to define a cash cow. The third group you've got is a dog. Before we talk about the more challenging problem child, the dog is a declining product. So the dog is a product which does not have much growth potential to be revived. And at best, it is semi-profitable. We're not putting a huge amount of energy in it, but long term, deep down, we know that in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, we shouldn't probably be selling it. So let's just stop and think about that from one perspective. You might have products that customers of yours bought 10 years ago, and then 8 years ago, and then 6 years ago, but your business has changed its focus in 10 years. It knows that it shouldn't stock that product or supply that service, and it needs to walk away from it. But you've got these 2 or 3 customers you've had for many, many years, and you'd feel bad not to carry that product. And rather than upsetting the customer, you keep carrying the product. So now there's space on your shelves, there's dollars sort of wrapped up in the products on those shelves, and you're not getting a huge return off those shelves because the client doesn't buy too many of those products. They've partly replaced that buy with something else. And yep, the argument you gave yourself was, well, we want to keep them happy. We don't want to upset them. Let's just pause and think about this for a minute. I often hear people, and when I say often, over 95% of the time, when somebody says to me, I want to keep hold of that product, even though I know deep down it's a dog of a product. The argument is because I've got this long-term customer who's used to buying it from us. If you've got a customer relationship that's gone on for many, many years, you have trust and goodwill. If you have trust and goodwill, you can leverage that at occasions when you are going to disappoint them or let them down or negotiate another transaction with them. You can negotiate that goodwill and leverage it into something good. If your relationship is going to break because 1% of their spend per year with you is of this particular product, they like the fact that they can also get it from you, and you're risking 95% of their spend with you, that means you're not a good account manager. You haven't got trust and you haven't got goodwill. You need to go fix that more than worrying about the products you're carrying. They'll move on. They'll find other people they can buy it from or replace it with alternative. I know we try to do our customers favors, but that doesn't mean that it's right. And then finally, we have a thing called a problem child. Now, we've left this till last because typically this is the one people get confused about. This is the one that gets a lot of attention. Think about a problem child in a family, whether they have behavioral problems or just an attitude problem. The problem child is the squeaky wheel. They get most of the attention. They scream and cry and fight and scrap and everything else that a child would do in the backseat of a car and a family dynamic. These problem child products demand a huge amount of time, energy, and resource. And the thing that we're trying to determine is it a future star or is it a future dog? The most common mistake made when it comes to, hey, we've got this product. We know it's really, really good. We're not sure if the market thinks it's good. Some people are buying it and they love it. Some people are buying it and they don't really care. Some people are buying it and coming back time and time again, which suggests that it's a star or a future cash cow. Or some people are buying it and they don't come back. And we haven't really got much feedback. And therefore we sit there thinking, yeah, but we love it and we love to sell this and we think it'd be really, really good and we think the market should take it. So we put a huge amount of effort into promoting it like we would a star. We put a huge amount of attention towards it. But there are 2 things to get right. If you have a product that you're not really sure if you should keep or you should get rid of, the first question is, do you have legitimate first-hand market understanding? Meaning, have you sat in front of the customers and actually interviewed them on your given product at whatever the price point is? The second question is to determine, if we continue to put through the effort into this, how long are we prepared to sit while it remains a problem child? So it doesn't accelerate its growth and become a star, it doesn't decline its growth and become a dog. How long are we prepared to put up with this middle road position? Because that's the second most common mistake, is we operate in blind faith and go, well, if we just keep on it for long enough, eventually we'll convince people. Well, that's only the case if they're convincible people, and if you've got this mass media advertising campaign to manipulate people's minds. And if you haven't got deep pockets for that, it's unlikely you're going to educate everybody to love what your product actually is. So when you stop and you think about these four areas, again, the cash cow and the problem child and the star and obviously the dog, there's different ways to think about it. Now, at the bottom of your workbook, which is why I really want you to download the workbook, again, a reminder, send an email to admin@themarketingcompany.com if you do want to receive today's workbook around the Boston Growth Matrix and its fit with sales, because there's a little summary there of what you can do and what you can focus on when it comes to the four different areas. But let's just strip it back to the basics. Anybody working in a business tends to want to work for a long-term, profitable, sustainable business. If that is the case, then some of what your offerings currently are probably are already cash cows or should become cash cows very soon. Those are what we're trying to produce. It's exciting to every year or two to launch brand new products in the marketplace. But after you put a huge amount of push and launch effort and educational effort and sales effort and marketing effort into a product, if it's not going to become a future cash cow, then I'm sorry, it's no longer a star product. You might need to shelve it for a couple of years and wait for the market to catch up, or you might need to dump it and just write it off as a dog and put it down. The third thing is to remember that so many times salespeople, sales managers, and business owners want to fix a problem child product where we go, I know it's so good, I just wish the market would take it. And here we are 3 years later, still trying to put a product to the marketplace, possibly with a price point that is just not working. Maybe the market is slow, maybe it isn't ready for us right now. But again, we often try to fix a problem child, or a marketing manager will persuade a salesperson to say, hey, listen, this is a bit of a pet project of mine. Do you mind trying to get this product into as many people's hands? And as a result, we're not putting effort into actual stars, which is going to build future cash cows, or the existing cash cows we've got. So that's very distracting. I know your marketing manager might like you, and then finally, we do need to walk away from the odd dog product, whether that's one product a year, one product every few years. We've got to remember, we've got to be thinking strategically. We've got to be thinking long term. Now, this topic actually comes from a number of different programs we've got, whether it's our Sales Mastery program, whether it's from our Sales Mastery Academy, where we get people to operate together on a week-to-week basis and I'm live with them, or even areas around the sales management training that we offer. If you want to talk further about anything we can do to help you, then feel free to send an email to the same email address. admin@salesmasterycompany.com is the easiest way to get hold of us, or message us obviously online as well. All I would like you to do is to take today's topic, whether you're operating in a strategic role or you're not in a strategic role. I would love you to watch this video again, but just start to think a little bit differently. Not just think about categorizing the industry, categorizing our customers, but also think about categorizing the products that we sell or the services we're selling for money. And using the Boston Growth Matrix is an easy place to start. It's a really good way to stimulate a conversation. Again, if you watch this video again, presenting this to your manager will be a fantastic way to get them to realize how intelligent you are and how capable you are about thinking strategically as opposed to simply tactically. I've been Ambrose Blofield with the Sales Mastery Company. Be sure to take action.